Shabbos in Tiberias. One of Jerusalem's yeshivas gave a free Shabbos to its students that the boys could go see their families. One of the boys named Moshe couldn't go home that week because his parents were abroad. He thus asked his parents if he could spend Shabbos with his friend in Tzfas. They agreed, and Moshe and his friend Chaim took a bus early Friday morning to make sure they would arrive in Tzfas on time for Shabbos. But on that day, funerals were blocking the road. The boys started to get nervous. At a certain point, they realized they'll never have enough time to get to Tzfas before Shabbos. And they start to accuse everyone. Why did the yeshiva give us a free Shabbos? Why did our parents go abroad? Why are we stuck in this bus without knowing where to go? 30 minutes before Shabbos, the bus had no choice but to stop his route in Tiberias. Moshe and Chaim got off the bus. They were disturbed and very worried because they didn't know the city well and certainly didn't know how to find a religious neighborhood. They walk into the city. There's no one in the streets. 20 minutes before Shabbos, they go into a building and they knock on the first door they find to ask to drop off their stuff while they go to the shul, in hope to find someone who would invite them for Shabbos. The door opens up, they explain why they came, and with a boundless enthusiasm, the man who opened the door begs them to have them for Shabbos, leads them to their room and waits for them before going to shul. The two friends are surprised by their host's enthusiasm. He welcomed them as if he knew them and was expecting them. They were extremely relieved that they had found a religious family, and on top of that, they have a comfortable room. On their way back from shul, a beautiful table is awaiting them. The meal goes by very well, filled with delicious dishes. Then the father starts talking and addressing the two students. Last week, my wife and I went to Europe to visit the different tzaddikim. Our parents are from Eastern Europe. It's been so long that we wanted to see where they had lived and wanted to pray by our ancestors' caver for our oldest daughter who is awaiting to get married. Last Shabbat, we were in the Ukraine and we spent a wonderful Shabbos. We were received like kings. We had never seen such hospitality. So much so that my wife and I wanted to do the same. We knew that it would be difficult because Baruch Hashem, we have a lot of children. Altogether, we are very tight in this apartment. And even with the best intentions, we can't host even one extra person. But we came back with firm will to reach that goal. The day of our departure, this Thursday, our flight was canceled without being pushed off to another date or time. Since it was close to Shabbos, we asked our friends who were taking care of our children to keep them for another Shabbos. In the end, we left at night and arrived this morning very early. When the neighbors saw us come back this Friday, they kindly prepared tons of good dishes, fish, meat, and all kinds of cakes, thinking that our children would be with us. When you arrived to our door, my wife and I understood that we got the opportunity for the first time to host guests in the most beautiful way, just like we were received the previous week in the Ukraine. This is why you merited to have such an abundance in food, drink, and a room to stay in. If you had come the week before, no one would have answered you. And if you were to come a week later, we wouldn't have been able to give you a place to sit. Upon the end of Shabbos, Moshe and Chaim were so pleased with their Shabbos experience, and after what had happened with their Tzfas adventure, they could have never fathomed to have spent such a wonderful Shabbos. They went back to yeshiva and started the week on a light heart, full of motivation. But the story doesn't stop here. The whole Shabbos, the father was impressed with the good values of one of the two boys, Moshe. Upon the end of Shabbos, he tells his daughter about him, who is going out for now more than 3 years without finding her soulmate. His daughter agrees to meet him. Each family checks each other out through a shadchan. 1 month later, they are all reunited at the engagement party. You can guess what happens next. We can learn from this story that man must not cry or be saddened by life's events when he is faced with challenges, which seem hard at first hand, or when he goes in the wrong way, just like these yeshiva students who went to Tiberias by mistake, without knowing that this was the best situation for them. Shem worked behind the scene to make this shidduch happen. He made it that the free Shabbos would coincide with Moshe's parents being abroad, that the bus couldn't continue his route to Tzfas, that the flight's couple would be delayed. He gave the couple chizuk on hospitality during their Shabbos in the Ukraine, and they had the merit to apply it the following week. There's a famous proverb that says, every delay is for the good. If a flight is canceled, a celebration is delayed, or if a doctor changes a consultation, everything comes from Hashem, who has very good reasons to do it. Oftentimes we don't see the good side of these delays. But sometimes, even years later, we realize the reason which we were sent to a certain place at a given point, and how canceled plans were just a way of Hashem to fix things up. Shabbat Shalom.